We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes! Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Good morning. It's episode 154. We're drunk on the birds this morning. We got a special guest. We got our fired up contributor in many facets, podcast, articles, news. Kylie, welcome in. Good morning. How we doing this morning? How we feeling about the birds?
I am good. I'm feeling all right about the birds. They pulled out a good win against Miami. It wasn't looking too great, but we ended up winning 31-17. So I can't complain too much, right?
No, I mean, listen, they're tied with the Chiefs for the best record in the NFL, right? 6-1. They've had some. Yeah, I feel like the loss against the Jets is kind of equivalent to the Chiefs' loss against the Lions. You know, you lose a game that you shouldn't have lost, but I think the bounce back. This was a game that everybody kind of had penciled for, you know, a potential loss early in the season. So I think to come in, you know, the way that they played, you know, the game kind of starts slow, right? They get, you know, it's 3-3 at the end of the first quarter, but you know, that I feel like at that point you get the offense rolling. Yeah, they have the long drive that ends with the Goddard touchdown to make it, you know, 10-3. You get the Jalen Hurts run to kind of, you know, go into halftime. You go up 14. You know, the thing that I think hurt a little bit was the drive that follows that, where you turn the ball over and, you know, the Dolphins pretty much go down. It's the one drive where the defense kind of looked a little suspect.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Hurts pick didn't help. The fumble didn't help. There was just a couple things that just they need to work on. And I mean, we were all nervous about Miami. To say that we were confident in a win would absolutely be a lie. Miami is an extremely good team. Tua is a great quarterback. Tyreek Hill is a fantastic wide receiver, obviously like the best in the league. I did not like that they had Bradbury going up against Tyreek Hill in man coverage. That was one of the weirder things.
It seemed like a matchup that was kind of destined for not at some point it's not going to work out. And to see Tyreek Hill's speed on the field is just it's crazy to think that, like, you know, a guy can be that fast. But you look at the way that they were able to kind of they put Miami in a position where they really had to, you know, rely on parts of their offense that they weren't necessarily comfortable with, which is a really great sign for me for Sean Desai, because, you know, you kind of didn't know what you were going to get in terms of him being able to lead his defense, and to have a defense with as many guys as they've had out in the first, you know, 7 weeks, and to get the production that you're getting from guys like, the guys that are filling in, right? Your Eli Ricks, your guys that are getting, production is really kind of a testament to, I think, to the off-field prep, because for all intents and purposes, right, you hold their offense to 7 points. To be able to get you get the 7 points on the pick six, which you want to try to avoid, obviously, at all costs. But I look at this and go, I walked away really impressed with the defense, because I'm watching the way that they're able to hold that offense, and the offense that in recent weeks, right, the game that they put up 70, right, they have the offensive explosion to be able to put up points. But you look at their 2 losses, and their 2 losses look the same, right? You look at losses that are guys that get, you get situations where they're playing, but they go up against the Eagles and Buffalo, right? 2 more highly competitive teams.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't look as good. So I don't know. So in the second half, right? In the second half, they kind of the defense looks really impressive. Talk to me about the AJ Brown connection, because right now it seems like the vibes between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are immaculate, and maybe potentially what that could be doing for other guys on this offense.
Yeah, it's incredible to see how well AJ Brown and Hurts have connected. I mean, they were obviously friends before AJ came to the Eagles, and Hurts played a big role in getting AJ to the Eagles. But I mean, 5 straight games and over 125 yards just for AJ Brown is ridiculous. Right. And
he gets one more, he'll be setting the NFL record.
Exactly. So hopefully against Washington, he'll do that, and I have faith that he'll actually do that. But I mean, you have to try to slow him down. But when you try to slow him down, you leave room for Goddard, you leave room for Devontae, you leave room for Swift to even try to do something. Like, this offense is built to just annoy the hell out of you.
We've described it in previous episodes. It's like it's death by 1,000 cuts. Like, it's like you want to double this guy, great. You want to stop. You want to try to load up the box and stop the run. We're going to go over top. You want to shut down the screen game. We're going to go deep. Like, they have, and for every there is a counter move for every offensive shutdown. And if you look at the one game that they lost, they beat themselves. They didn't lose to the Jets. They kind of lost to themselves.
Yeah. Which was annoying.
Is there any concern in terms of the attention that Hurts is obviously drawing to AJ Brown, in terms of how that might affect the production from Devontae Smith?
No, I'm not concerned. Because everybody eats on that team, and they've both said it time and time again that it's not wide receiver 2, it's wide receiver 1A, 1B type thing, and they're all going to eat, they're all going to get their share. So they both got 1,000 yards last year. AJ Brown was so close to his goal of 1,400, something like that.
Yeah, he was like 4 yards
7
shy.
yards. Yeah, he was so close to his goal. So I mean, maybe we'll get his, and we'll hopefully that ring will be in play. Way more important than them.
And
being the sole contributor.
So talk about the defensive line, because the defensive line has been super impressive. And I look at the production that you're getting from guys that you replaced, right? You let Javon Hargrave go. You replace him with Jalen Carter, who has been as advertised, and if not better. And not looking at his production on the field, really impressive. The stat that I'm just reading from John Clark, right? The Eagles have 24 sacks this year. Only the Ravens and the Bills have more. Sam Howell, and we'll talk about this after the commercial, but Sam Howell's been sacked 40 times, which leads the NFL. So it's like you're almost matching weakness against strength. This seems to me like this has shades of going down to Washington. When they matched up against Carson Wentz, and like the Carson Wentz the 9-10. This seems to me like it's got a 9-10 sack game written all over it.
I would love that.
Right.
I mean, Jordan Davis is probably going to be out of the game from what I've seen on the injury reports. So that's going to hurt a little bit. But, I mean, you still have so many people on that defensive line that can just power through an offensive line and get to the quarterback. So, I mean,
you got bullets on bullets on bullets.
Yeah, I mean, this team is loaded in every which way. And I'm excited to see what Bayard does now that we traded for him. Hopefully that's something too. It's just
right. This is Howie's season, right? So Howie goes out and he kind of let those first 4 weeks play out, right? You see that obviously in these first 6-7 weeks that you have this week to week fluctuation between the guys that are playing safety, right? You've got guys that are early on in their career. You've got guys that, Terrell Edmonds, who had a little bit of experience. You have Reed Blankenship, who was battling injuries week to week. And they really do go out and just solidify that position and get, the Eagles, for whatever reason, are able to fleece the Titans again, as if they hadn't learned their lesson already in trading for an all-pro and only getting the draft picks in return. And we have put out something. It's like, hey, Titans, you're going to give us your all-pro safety. We're going to give you this guy who can't start on our team and 2 late draft picks. You in? Like,
right.
The move to me, right? Obviously, the Titans are fire sale at this point. The rumors of the King Henry trade on some level to try to just restart and kickstart that franchise back into something. But they get their guy. Shades of Malcolm. This move to me has shades of Malcolm Jenkins written all over it.
Really?
It does. It really does. You're getting a guy he's an all-pro safety, a guy who is a 2-time Pro Bowler. In 2017, right? Obviously, that's a couple years ago, but led the NFL in interceptions. He's not old, right? He's 30, so he's got seasoned experience. But I see this as a guy who's able to just kind of come in and solidify the back end of that secondary, and you're going to match him up with a guy in Reed Blankenship, right? Whoever thought that you'd have a secondary that had 2 guys from Middle Tennessee State, man in the back, but right now you get Reed Blankenship and you get Sidney Brown to be able to learn from a guy who's an all-pro level player. Just screams to me like these just being around this guy by osmosis gives them the opportunity to be able to get better production from those younger players, maybe further on down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this isn't just a move for now. It's a move for the future. I mean, the experience, like you said, that he has is just, it's unreal. And he can absolutely help these young guys develop too. So, I mean, it's a win it's just such a great trade. And yeah, it's Howie's season right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, Kai, if they go on some level and just they kind of tear up his contract and extend, maybe give him like a 2 or 3 year extension on what he's already got. Because this to me just and it's a hometown guy, right? It's a guy who spent the first 14 years of his life living in the city of Philadelphia. Family is all they're all Birds gang, so it's a good coming home, and it's a guy that I think solidifies the back end of this secondary, right? And now you've got you think about the experience now between Bradbury and Slay, and now Kevin Byard. You've got 3 guys in your secondary who are guys that are all pros. So guys that are able to solidify the experience part of that back end, which makes the slot position stronger. And it's going to make it's one move that just it's the rising tide, moving all boats.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see how it works out, and that win against the Dolphins was really encouraging after just looking horrible against the Jets. So I'm excited to see what they have against Washington.
Any other moves? You see Howie making another move? I know there's shades of him making phone calls all over the NFL. Is Howie done?
I would be lying if I said I had a feeling Howie was done. I mean, he's always trying to improve. He's always looking at everything. A lot of people have said that Derrick Henry, but I just don't see him paying for a running back like that. And I mean, we have Swift. Swift is going crazy right now.
I think the thing that has people enamored with they know he's available, so they know that the asking price is not nearly going to be what it was, but at the same time, you think about I think the thought of people that people are having is putting Derrick Henry behind this offensive line and making the production that you would get from DeAndre Swift as the second guy, considering what you've seen him get. Like, it just, I think the idea of that just kind of blows people's mind, and it kind of says, like, all right, if you think the vibes are electric with this team now, imagine putting the guy who's been one of the most productive running backs in the NFL behind the best offensive line with a coach who's the best offensive line coach. Like, it just seems like it would be a match made in heaven.
Oh, it absolutely would be. And I mean, hey, I would love to see Derrick Henry in Midnight Green. I would love to see it. I mean, that would just be a cheat code. Just give us everything now. But realistically, I don't see him doing it. I heard the Titans are they're getting offers, obviously, but it's not what they thought it would be. Which is kind of blows my mind, because he's a running back. He's an older running back. And while he's still one of the best in the league and always a threat, he is still a running back, and people right now just don't pay a lot for running backs.
Nope.
I mean,
let's see Miles Sanders, right? Miles Sanders was, he was 1,000-yard rusher. Great. But gets the biggest contract this offseason and goes to Carolina and has been, he's losing snaps to Chuba Hubbard at this point. Like, it's a scenario that I think, the NFL, and we had the whole situation at the beginning of the season with the NFL's, the running back group getting together and, trying to, and then Saquon Barkley, a couple weeks later, just the guy who was leading the charge steps back and takes the extension. It seems to me like it would be the kind of thing that I don't know. It would be a cheat code, but I really, to kind of wrap up the conversation with the Dolphins, it really just looks to me like that this was just it was a great get right game. But I loved what I saw in terms of the resiliency, the front, up and down, right? They go for the fourth down early on the field, right? Deep in their zone. But just kind of speaks to the confidence that I think this coaching staff has in this offense. I love the confidence that they have in the tush push. The brotherly shove is undefeated. I love where this team is, and I love where this confidence is, because And talk to me about the post-game comments from Sirianni about the tush push, because I love he seems like he would be a guy. He's a guy whose personality fits right in with this city, a guy that you might see just walking out of a bar at Kottman in Frankfurt.
You absolutely would,
right? So like walking out, half in the bag, talking shit, like it just,
exactly.
And his comments fit right in. Like, just talk to me about that.
I mean, he has the sentiments that we've all been saying. Like, and I mean, honestly, if there is hopefully a parade in some year as him being the head coach, he would be running down Broad Street off the bus, high fiving everybody.
100%.
Everybody.
100%.
But I mean, I think it's hilarious that if it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they all just kind of like, no. Nothing needs to be said. They just kind of just get into formation, just do it, and it converts every single time.
And his comments about like it's whenever we get the ball, it's 1st and 9, like that's like the ultimate shit talking, because it's like you know that if we get the ball and it's within a yard, it's coming, you can't stop it, and I think it's not necessarily it comes across as arrogance, but it's definitely more like a confidence thing. Like we have confidence in this, we know, and I think his comments to the league in that post conference, in the press conference, was like, hey, listen, if everybody did it well, y'all wouldn't be mad at us, because you'd have to be mad at everybody. You're just mad at us because we've executed it really well. So I'm looking for more of that. But listen, on the back end of the commercial, we're going to talk all things Eagles Commanders and get set up for this matchup tomorrow.
Vonsey Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000-square-foot microbrewery with a 2,500-square-foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer garden in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Vonsey family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Vonsey Brewing is located at 1210 Stanbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrent's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-touraine.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
And listen, we're back. We're back talking Eagles Commanders. It's a week 8 matchup here. Kai, what are your thoughts going into the game? Because the Eagles are coming off they're again tied for the best record in the NFL. Matched up against the 3 or 4 Commanders. It's one of the very few 1 o'clock starts. So talk to me about your thoughts going into the game.
So I mean, divisional games are always going to be a problem for every team. They could be the best team in football and the worst team in football, and the worst team in football can just put up a good fight. Because they see them more. They're more familiar with the coaching, the players, everything. So it's probably going to be a dogfight. But if Dotson and McLaurin can be slowed down with our defense, I mean, I see us winning. It could be close, but I see us taking care of business on the road.
Yeah, look, I kind of, on some level, I see. I don't think it's gonna feel a lot like the game earlier in the week or earlier in the season, right? Because earlier in the season they're playing the Commanders. It's a sloppy game on the Birds' end. They end up winning, 34-31 in overtime. Hard to believe that game was in the same month at the beginning of October. Seems like it's been a while since they played that game, but that to see again, I think you're going down. You're traveling to a place that you're familiar with. You're playing a divisional opponent, which is obviously never easy. The Commanders had a good game plan going into that game, right? Control the ball, control the clock, keep the offense off the field. I think the Eagles did a great job in that game of kind of maximizing the possessions in terms of getting points on almost every possession. But I think you left a lot out on the field defensively, and I think they're different defensively now. And at the end of the day, I look at the one position is quarterback that just kind of stands out in neon to me. You got a guy in Jalen Hurts that is, was every bit in the MVP running race, right? Struggles a little bit early, but still you see as much as they've struggled earlier this season, they're still 6-1. He's still leading them to victories. He's still able to distribute the ball. This to me screams of I feel like this could be a game where if they can jump on them early and, kind of put them in a position to make, Sam Howell beat you. That's a matchup that I really trust in terms of the stat that we were talking about earlier with Sam Howell being a guy who's been sacked the most in the NFL. And again, the matchup that I'm really looking at is the strength on weakness, where I think you just keep throwing guy after guy after guy at the Washington offensive line, and you let those guys just kind of run. I think you're going to see a game where it's really controlled in the trenches.
Oh yeah, I mean our defensive line is just ridiculous. You have Reddick, Cox, Graham, Carter. It's like that line is just going. They're gonna get to the quarterback. It's just how many times.
Yeah, it's really a lineup where when I look at the guys that I'm matching up against, right, the guys on the Commanders offensive line, nobody is scaring me, right? I'm looking at Andrew Wiley and Sam Cosmi and Nick Gates. You got Charles Leno Jr. These are all guys that have given up a lot of sacks. And I don't think Sam. No, God, no. They're Hawks. They're not even like the pups. Like they're barely holding that offensive line together, which is a shame because you do have some offensive weapons, right? Guys, you were just talking about with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson. You have guys that can be really, really productive in this league. And I would almost argue with you, I know you want to see what you have in Sam Howell, but if you're thinking that you're going to be moderately competitive this year, Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback, definitely gives you a better chance to win. I just don't think Sam Howell's going to have the time. I think he's going to constantly be under pressure to be able to get the ball out. So unless they have a game plan where it's a lot of dump offs, it's a lot of a lot of two-step drops, get the ball out and go.
Yeah.
But I think the moves that they've made in the secondary are really going to help them.
Yeah, I mean that's the concern is the short throwing, and that's how they've been able to beat us, just the quick pass. And I like our moves that we've made that will hopefully slow that down, so we can just go to Washington, win, and never go back there until next year.
No, I hear you. Right, and you look at I would say probably the biggest strength on the Commander side is their defensive line. Right, they've got guys that are really, really talented. Right, you look at Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. Those are guys that are really, really good players in this league. Problem is that that's their strength, and they're matching up against one of the Eagles' strengths, which is their offensive line. And you look at, I think the focus for the Eagles is going to be, ball control, clock control. How do we, just grind this team out in the first half, and then really look to put them away in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see how we lose unless we lose it and they don't. Like it has to be like the Jets if they want to win. We have to lose in order for them.
And I think the importance of this game going into next week when you're going to play the Cowboys before the bye, and these two games are a really good kind of lead into the rest of the second half of the season, because the second half, once you come back from the bye, you're going to have that 5-game gauntlet where you're going to face really, really tough opponents. When you come back from the bye after the Cowboys loss the Cowboys, Jesus Christ. after they play the Cowboys on November 5th, right? You're going to play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners, the Cowboys again, and then the Seahawks. Like, you're going to have a good 5-game stretch where, you're going to play at Kansas City. You're going to play Buffalo at home. You're going to play the 49ers at home. But then you play at the Cowboys, at the Seahawks. So you're going to have a good 5-game stretch where you're going to really need to rack up those wins. But being able to talk about the importance of winning these divisional games now and how much that could separate them from these divisional opponents later in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting ahead in the division allows for some mistakes later in the season. And I mean, our only competition is Dallas. Like, they're the only team that's going to compete with us for the division. So, I mean, I'm looking at those games, the 2 games that we have against Dallas, more than I am against the Giants or the Commanders. But if we can take care of business against Washington and take at least one against New York, we can handle the Seahawks. The 49ers will be very interesting.
Yeah, that game will be interesting. That game's at home, which I think, having the 49ers travel west, on a short, what will be it'll be December, so it'll be all things winter in Philadelphia. I'm sure there'll probably be people, they're dressed up in their Santa costumes for that game, and trying to give the 49ers an L for Christmas. But the Bills game right now is a game that doesn't look nearly as daunting as it did when the schedule came out.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, so I'm trying to take it game by game. It's hard not to look ahead, but I'm excited about what this Commanders game could be, because I look at the matchups, and there's not a whole lot of position groups that match up to me that kind of don't fall in the Eagles' favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we're just such a complete team.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
as long as we just continue to, stay the way we are and just keep playing our game. I mean, I don't try beating us. It's not gonna work.
We gotta continue to just do us, and then let the chips fall where they may. God, before we jump out, give me a prediction and give me a play. Give me a player or a play of the game.
Ooh, okay, so I'm going Birds win, of course.
Okay.
I like it close-ish to what this week was with Miami. Like 31-10, 31-17-ish area.
Okay.
Play of the game will always be tush push. Brotherly shove.
There we
Always
go.
looking to see it. Player of the game. Give me Reddick.
All right. What's the stat line? I love it.
Give me at least 2 sacks.
Okay, because I was kind of leaning in the same direction. I thought the defensive line. I'm just going to go bold. I think this is a game where the defense kind of comes out and has the coming out party. I alluded to it earlier. Yeah. I'm going 10 plus sacks. I'm feeling like Sam Howell is just like under pressure all game. Everybody's eating. Jalen Carter, I think BG gets one. I think Hassan gets a couple. And I just think they dominate this offensive line, start to finish. And I love it in like a boat race. I think this is like a 35-7 game. I don't think it's competitive from the start. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this team. And listen, after the week and the last 12 months that we've had in this city, I need a get right week. I need to just boat race somebody and just kind of take all. I think we're gonna take all the city's frustrations out on the Commanders and kind of just kind of go with the flow this week. So I'm loving it. I'm going. This is a big Birds win. So for me,
I would love that.
I'm all in.
I'm gonna tell you right now. So for those who are watching that don't know me, I live in the DMV, and Commanders fans treat beating the Eagles like winning a Super Bowl. I mean, every time they beat us, they just talk so much. And like when they beat us last year, they talk so much when I promise you they treat it like their Super Bowl. So beating them would just be twice would be hilarious.
Well, listen, when you're a team that has trouble just making the playoffs, you gotta take those big wins when you can. Good, yeah. God bless Commanders fans, because if I had to hang my hat on a bunch of regular season wins and not feel like my team's been competitive for the last decade plus, outside of that one playoff appearance where they destroyed Robert Griffin's career.
Oh God, yeah.
That
was horrible.
God bless you, Commanders fans, because I feel for you.
I couldn't be me.
Final thoughts. What do you got? Final thoughts can be. Oh, there we go. Go Birds. Keep it simple. Listen. The thing I wanted to shout out. I saw this morning on Twitter. The Eagles debuted. They're real big with their foundation in terms of autism awareness and the work that they do in the community. They recently, I just saw the video that debuted their autism sensory room, which is just super cool to see the teams embracing that and giving the opportunities for fans and families to be able to visit and utilize that space, and also be fanatical about the team. So really just the work that they always do in the community is just really great.
Unmatched.
So just really when you look at the work that they do with the fundraising with the OD down the summer, when they do their guest bartending, when they do their 5K runs, when they all of those autism awareness things, really just is a great job at shining the light on on a thing that really just needs more shine to just be able to get the word out and get the support for, a different sector of the community that, may not get as much shine as it normally should get. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. I love it.
oh, it's wonderful. Kai, on the way out, I appreciate it. Go Birds. Enjoy your week. Great day. And we'll touch base. Kai, hold on. Big news. Big news. Tell the people the big news. Tell them where they can find you. Because you got some big news job.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at BSP_Sully, and I'll be writing for Philadelphia Sports Network about the Phillies.
Let's go. Let's go. You can find that. You got the. Let's hold on. Let's not undersell this situation, right? You got the Beer Battered Sports, right? You got the Bell Smashers. You got your article. Like you got a lot of stuff working. You got a lot of good stuff. So if you're not following Kai, right, you got to go check out her stuff. Really appreciate you hopping on. I'm sure this won't be the last time. We last night Eric and I had our Phillies funeral. So we were able to kind of put a bow on that, but definitely we'll have to work out some off-season stuff to get you guys. We'll kind of collaborate on some stuff in the off-season, and
absolutely
just look forward to it. Take care. Have a good weekend, and go Birds.
You too. Go Birds.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S